of our fifth Imam, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, alayhi afdal as-salatu was-salam. Would like to congratulate all of you for this event also, and to all the Muslim Ummah in the world, in particular the lovers of Ahl al-Bayt. We're going to, inshallah, start with the recitation of the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Fatih, and we'll benefit, inshallah, from the Imam of the Center, Hujjat al-Islam, Sayyid Moustafa Al-Qazwini, inshallah. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا ليغفر لك الله ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر ويتم نعمته عليك ويهديك صراطا مستقيما وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا والذي أنزل السكينة في قلوب المؤمنين ليزدادوا إيمانا إيمانا مع إيمانهم ولله جنود السماوات والأرض وكان الله عليما حكيما ليدخل المؤمنين والمؤمنات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ويكفر عنهم سيئاتهم وكان ذلك عند الله فوزا عظيما ويعذب المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات الظانين بالله ظن السوء عليهم دائرة السوء وغضب الله عليهم ولعنهم وأعد لهم جهنم وساءت مصيرا. ولله جنود السماوات والأرض ولله جنود السماوات والأرض وكان الله عزيزا حكيما. وكان الله عزيزا حكيما. إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Let's go ahead and recite another loud salawat and invite Samahat al-Sayyid to the podium.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And happy 2nd of Rajab. Today was the 2nd of Rajab. And also, I believe, the 2nd day of January today. Yes. Alhamdulillah. Happy New Year to all of you, inshallah. A year of peace of mind and health and faith and victory of the truth and justice, inshallah ta'ala. So we have 2 more sessions on Surah Al-Anbiya, and inshallah we're going to conclude it. And in the month of Ramadan we're going to have, a new subject. But before the month of Ramadan we're going to begin another chapter, inshallah. I have to look and see what chapter we're going to begin, but we have 4 more verses. We're going to study tonight verse 108 and 109, and then we leave the other 2 verses, the conclusion, inshallah, for next Thursday, inshallah ta'ala. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala anbiya'illahi jami'an, wa ala sayyidihim wa khatamihim habibi ilah al-alameen, Abil Qasim al-Moustafa Muhammad, وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه المنتجبين وعلى سيدنا ومولانا الإمام الحجة بن الحسن المهدي المنتظر عجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل مخرجه وجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل إنما يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فهل أنتم مسلمون فإن تولوا فقل أأذنتكم على سواء وإن أدري أقريب أم بعيد ما توعدون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. The Holy Quran frequently speaks about monotheism. إنما إلهكم إله واحد. إنما هو إله واحد. There is a lot of emphasis on monotheism. And monotheism is not just the cornerstone of the Islamic faith, but every divine message, including Christianity and Judaism and the book of Moses and the Psalm of David, they emphasized monotheism. And monotheism is the main pillar, the cornerstone of our faith. Monotheism is very extensive. When we were kids, they used to teach us, what is monotheism? In one sentence. We point to the sky and we say God is one, period. But it's definitely is much more than that. Monotheism has many chapters and many branches. There is the oneness of the essence, Tawheed al-Dhat, the oneness, the unity of the attributes, Tawheed al-Sifat, and each one has a long description and definition. Then Tawheed al-Af'al, every motion, every action in this universe stems from God. He is the originator of every action in this universe. Then after that, Tawheedul Ibadah, our service, our worshipping, our work has to be entirely dedicated to God. This is Tawheedul Ibadah. This is Tawheedul Ibadah. We worship God. We respect others, but we don't worship them. We don't worship Prophet Muhammad. We don't worship Imam Ali alayhi salam. We don't worship Imam Hussein. We revere them, we respect them, but we don't worship them. Not every gesture of respect means you are worshiping. Even if you bow down, bowing down, it does not mean you are worshiping that person. A soldier may bow down to his commander. A student may bow down to his mentor and teacher. A son may bow down to his mother and father. That does not mean they are worshiping them. Some people have confusion. Some people, especially those who do not like the school of Ahlul Bayt, they have a problem. They have mental problem and logical problem. They do not focus. They get things mixed up. Once you say Ya Ali, they immediately accuse you of worshipping Ali, worshipping Hussein. It's not about worship. Yaqub, Israel, Jacob, he bowed down before his son Joseph. He bowed down, and it is in the Quran. Does it mean he worshipped his son? He was a prophet himself. He is greater than his son. Does not worship his son. He bowed down. وَخَرُّوا لَهُ سُجَّدًا. It's in chapter 12, Surah Yusuf. The father and the sons and the entire family, they bowed down before Joseph. Doesn't mean they are worshipping him. But unfortunately, people who do not use their brain, because they don't have a brain, and they don't use their intelligence because they are not intelligent, immediately they accuse you of polytheism. Shirk, 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 shirk. But when they study, when they research, when they take their time and put the prejudice aside, stay away from prejudice, and they focus on the Quran, they find out that the school of Ahlul Bayt, the main theme of the school of Ahlul Bayt is monotheism, Tawheed. We worship God and none but God. So monotheism has many branches, and I really invite you to study monotheism. If you do not begin with studying monotheism, you are not going to be able to answer people who ask you, Muslims and non-Muslims, who are going to ask you about the identity of God. You must study monotheism. Let me just mention one thing tonight. Tawheed al-Dhat, which is the first branch, the first chapter of monotheism, consists of two parts. Part number one, al-Wahidiyya, and part number 1, al-ahadiyya. And both are mentioned in the Quran. Wahidiyya means ilahukum ilahun wahid. Ahadiyya is also mentioned. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. In fact, both Wahidiyya and Ahadiyya are mentioned in chapter 112, Surah Al-Tawheed, the chapter of monotheism. The beginning of it, Qul huwa Allahu ahad, speaks about Ahadiyya. The end of the chapter, وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٍ, speaks about Wahidiyya. So what is Wahidiyya and what is Ahadiyya? Wahidiyya means the oneness of God. What does oneness mean? Does it mean God is one? No, this is wrong. Not numerical oneness. Imam Ali says, do not say God is one as a number, numerical. Because once you say God as a number, number 1 is followed by what? By number 2. And number 2 is followed by number 3. So it's not right to say God is one as a number. When we say God is one, it means he doesn't have a match or similarity. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٍ. He does not have similarity. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ. The Quran says, none like unto him. None. None like unto him. He's unique. Oneness means the uniqueness of God. This is why we cannot paint God. We cannot paint him. We cannot have a structure of him. We cannot have a statue of God. You can have a statue for anything except God, because he's unique. You can have the picture of anything, the portrait of anything except God. He's unique. This is the meaning of the oneness of God. Wahidiyya means the oneness of God. It means he's the only one. No similarity, no matching, no resemblance. Nothing resembles him. So when you give an example, if you want to give an example of any human being, anything in this nature, you can make some resemblance. You say, this man that I'm talking about him, he's similar to this man, to this a human being. But when it comes to God, he has no resemblance. Unique. So this is the meaning of Wahidiyya, remember. The second part of what? I'm talking about what? Tawheed al-Dhat. This is the first chapter of Tawheed, Tawheed al-Dhat. The monotheism of the essence of God. I am talking today now about the essence of God, not his character, his essence. Okay? Tawheed al-Dhat has 2 branches. One is Wahidiyya. Wahidiyya simply means what? No resemblance. God, no resemblance. What does Ahadiyya mean? What does Ahadiyya mean? Qul huwa Allahu ahad. How many times you read chapter 112 in your prayers? Every single time you read after Surah Al-Hamd, after Fatihatul Kitab, you read Qul huwa Allahu ahad, don't you? So what does it mean? When you read it, you have to understand the meaning. So what is the verse? First verse. Qul, say, oh Muhammad, say, Qul huwa, he, the Lord, ahad. Ahad means what? Some help. No match was the first one. Wahidiyya. Wahid. Wahid, no match. But ahad? No. Good try, good. Try, yes. It's good to try. So what is Ahadiyya? Uniqueness we said about the first one. First one, Wahidiyya is uniqueness. What is Ahadiyya then? Oneness? Oneness, it's the first one is oneness. The first one. Wahidiyya is oneness. Meaning has no match. Ahadiyya means, listen to this carefully, you and me and everything else in this universe, we are composed of various parts. This podium that I'm standing on it has many parts. They assemble them together from IKEA, let's say, and you make a podium. The chair that you sit on has 3, 4, 5 parts. And you as a human being, your brain has 15 billion cells. Just your brain, mashallah. See how intelligent you are? Your brain has an average of 15 billion cells, let alone the rest of the body. So you are made of billions of parts, assembled together, put together, to make a human being. Now that I'm talking to you, you know how many cells are working now? Because I'm thinking, hopefully I'm thinking before I talk, to deliver what I have in my mind, to transfer it to your mind. Millions of things are working together to make this speech. And millions of things are working in your body, in your brain, to receive the speech and to understand it. Millions. So we have been assembled and composed of many parts. These parts, they work, in harmony with each other. God is different. God has no many parts. God is unassembled, unstructured, does not have different parts. Doesn't have different parts. Why? Why God does not have different parts? Give a chance, huh? Yes, go ahead. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because if because for me to see you and communicate with you, I need eyes, I need a brain, I need a tongue, I need a mouth, I need ears so I can communicate with you. And these work together. They work together. But God, so my eyes needs my brain. My eyes cannot see without a brain. My ears cannot hear you without a brain. They need to work together. One part helps the other, works with the other. God is free of all needs. Self-sufficient. That is the best title of God. The most honorable title of God. Al-Ghani. Where is it? It's written somewhere here. 99 names, but the most important one, Al-Ghani, self-sufficient. God is free of all needs. It's amazing what Imam Hussein says about God in Dua Arafah. He says, God, you don't need yourself, let alone needing others. أنت الغني بنفسك عن نفسك. You don't need yourself. How come you need others? Therefore, his essence is unstructured, unassembled, does not have many parts. Dhatuhu, in Islamic philosophy, they say, Dhatuhu, the essence of God, basita, one part, simple. It's not structured. And there is no multiplicity for God. In other religions, they believe in the Trinity. These three Trinity, the three parts of the Trinity, they make God. We say no. Because if you divide God into three parts, the Trinity, one part is going to be in need to the second part. Whereas God has no need, free of all needs. So this is the meaning of Ahadiyya. In chapter 12, God says some believers and some Muslims and some worshippers, they practice polytheism. This is the verse in the Quran. Shirk. Some Muslims, they practice shirk. in chapter 12, Surah Yusuf, Allah says, ayah number 106, وَمَا يُؤْمِنُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ بِاللَّهِ إِلَّا وَهُمْ مُشْرِكُونَ. Many of them, when they believe in God, while they believe in God, unfortunately they ascribe partners to God. How is that? How can someone who's a believer in God and the oneness of God practices polytheism? How is it? The Imams of Ahlul Bayt, they explain this verse for us. They say, number one, the example of someone who's a worshipper, he's a practicing, he's an observant, but yet he might fall in this pit. The pit of what? Polytheism, shirk. How is it? When he dedicates the work that he does, any work, any charity, any act, any worshipping, to himself, not to God. For instance, when he stands to pray, he's not praying to God. He's praying because he fears his wife. Or the son, the daughter, they fear the parents or the teacher. Or in some countries, they fear the government. If you don't go to the Friday prayers, they smash your window, your shop. So he is not praying because he loves God. He or she are praying out of fear. This is an act of polytheism because the work is not dedicated to God. When he gives charity, he's not giving charity because he believes in the merits of charity, because he's embarrassed. Sometimes they force him out of embarrassment. He says, okay, I'll pay. He's not paying for the sake of God. He's paying for the sake of protecting his what? Reputation. And this is called ostentation, riya. When the work is not entirely dedicated to God, then they call it riya. And riya, the hadith says, al-riya huwa shirkul khafi. Al-riya, ostentation, showing off, is a type of subtle polytheism. Shirkul khafi. Not apparent, not very obvious. It's very subtle. So this is number one. Number two example, Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam says, a Muslim can practice polytheism when God gives him, God heals him, God protects him. He attributes the healing to the doctor, to the hospital. They ask him, who did save your life? Who saved your life? He says, Dr. Fulan and Fulan, hospital Fulan and Fulan. He forgets about God. Yeah, to a smart doctor, great. Of course, this doctor, he's doing a great job. But this doctor is the agent of God, remember. He's the agent of God. If God does not want, this doctor would not be able to help you. He would not be able to help himself, let alone helping you. So he's the agent of God. So you may thank the doctor, but don't forget there is God above him. The healing comes from God. Or someone who saved your life in an accident, or saved your honor, saved your marriage. You attribute this success to that person. Or to yourself, you say, I'm smart. I studied very hard. I'm making this money. This is all because of me. You don't mention God. You don't say, Hada min fadli Rabbi. This is from my... If I'm smart, if I'm intelligent, if I'm hardworking, this is all because of God. Because of God. When you forget about God, this is shirk. This is type of shirk. Of course, there is a difference between shirk, polytheism, and kufr. Imam al-Sadiq does not say he becomes kafir. Kafir means disbeliever in God. Such an example is not a disbeliever in God. He does praise, but he ascribes partners with God. Rather than attributing this act to God, he attributes this act of success to himself or to others. Be careful when you speak. Be very careful. That does not mean we should not ignore people who help us. No. We thank them, we appreciate them, we acknowledge them, but also remember that it is God. God is the source of success in your life. So this is the subject of monotheism. قُلْ إِنَّمَا يُوحَى إِلَيْهِ. Verse 108, the Prophet is telling his community, God is saying to the Prophet, tell your community, قُلْ, say to them, إِنَّمَا, I am only receiving revelation from God. Whatever I am passing to you, it's not me. These are revelations. Wahi, revelation of God. إِنَّمَا يُوحَى إِلَيَّ. And God reveals to me, inspires to me, أَنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. That your God is one God. Is one God. So this is one of the attributes of God. One, the oneness. Remember, wahidiyya. What does wahidiyya mean? What does wahidiyya mean? You should do something to remember, not to forget. Eat, drink, whatever, Something to remember. Wahidiyya means what? Ahsant, uniqueness. That God is unique. And ahadiyya means what? God is unassembled, simple, unassembled. This is the meaning of wahidiyya and ahadiyya. أَنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Would you be submitters? فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا. 109, فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا. If they turn away. Why people turn away from something which is in their natural instinct, in their human intuition, something which is self-evident, very obvious, a fundamental truth. Why they turn away from it? They know this is right. What the Prophet is saying makes sense. It's logical. But still they turn away from it. What is the reason? Can you help me with the reason? Self-interest. The other one, arrogance. Arrogance, it's a very dangerous disease. Arrogance, people know the truth, they see the justice, they see the truth, but out of arrogance they turn away. They don't acknowledge, they don't accept, they reject. They reject because of self-interest, because of arrogance. And one more element, because of what? What else? What else makes people sway away from truth and justice? Another disease. Of course, prejudice, racism, all these things. But there is something fundamental here. Hubbud dunya, the attachment to this dunya. Attachment to this dunya makes a person knows this is haram, this is forbidden, this is illegal, but still he practices that. Because he's attached to this dunya. He thinks he's going to stay forever. He's going to get away with the punishment. No one is watching him, no one is seeing him, and no one is going to notice, and he can get away with that. So these things, the love, the attachment, the fascination with the dunya, the arrogance, the self-interest, make people what? Turn away from the truth and justice. فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا فَقُلْ أَأَذِنْتُكُمْ عَلَى سَوَاءٍ وَإِنْ أَدْرِي أَقَرِيبٌ أَمْ بَعِيدٌ مَا تُوعَدُونَ. Say to them, Ya Rasulullah, say to them, I have the responsibility to proclaim to you all equally in a just way. why God says to the Prophet, tell your community that I have the responsibility of proclaiming to you in an equal way, in a just way. Why? The reason why, because sometimes a teacher, a professor, an imam, a priest, a mentor, a father, he delivers part of the message, or he delivers the message to part of people, but he withhold that from another part. In one place, he may speak the truth. In another place, with another group of people, in another situation, he does not speak the truth. He becomes diplomatic. Why? Because he fears. He fears for his own interest. The Prophet says, no, I don't fear for my interest. I work for God. I have no self-interest. I deliver this message to all of you, to the rich, to the poor, to the white, to the black, to, affluent societies, to poor societies. But many people do not do this. I remember one of my friends, he's a scholar. He said, the day I signed the contract with an Islamic center to be an imam, the board of directors told me, listen, you're going to be our imam for God knows how many years. Certain things, you should avoid them. Don't speak. Don't tell people. Don't mention them on the podium. I said, what are they? They said, number one, hijab. Don't talk about hijab. Our women, they don't wear hijab. So you're not going to convince them. Stay away. Because when you speak about hijab, you're going to insult us. Insult our women. So don't talk about hijab. Khalas. We're not going to listen to you. Don't mention hijab. The other thing, what is the other thing? Zakat. Zakat, taxation, khums. Don't speak about it because nobody is going to give you. Not to give you, to give to to God. Don't talk. Don't embarrass people and ask them to pay zakat or charity. I said, he tells me that I said to them, sorry. These are the fundamentals of religion. I have to listen to God. These conditions I cannot accept. I cannot compromise my integrity, my honesty. What if God tells me tomorrow, why did you fear those people? Because they pay your salary? So sometimes some people, they say things to some people, but they don't say it to others. Prophet Muhammad says, no, I'm not going to do that. When I deliver the message, I deliver it to all people without any reservation. And then he says to them, وَإِنْ أَدْرِي أَقَرِيبٌ أَمْ بَعِيدٌ مَا تُوعَدُونَ. I really do not know the promise of the day of judgment that God promised you. I don't know whether this day is going to be near or far. I don't know. The Prophet says, even me, I don't know. One, the hour is going to arrive. As-sa'a. As-sa'a means the hour. As-sa'a means the day of judgment. I don't know. My friends, I conclude with this. Ilmul Ghayb, it's an extensive subject in the Islamic theology. The knowledge of the unseen. Some schools, the radical schools in Islam, they negate the fact that the Prophet or the Imams or any Prophet, any messenger of God possesses the knowledge of the unseen. They say the knowledge of unseen belongs only to God. But what is the answer here? Another school comes and says they have open access to the unseen. Open access. But the school of Ahlul Bayt says neither the one first nor the second. It's in the middle. The Prophet and the Imams, they don't have an open access to the unseen, to ilmul ghayb, the knowledge of the unseen. God gives them permission whenever He wants. Inna Allah indahu ilmu as-sa'a. Allah knows the knowledge of the hour. If He wants, He can pass it to others. If not, He would not. Allah knows what will happen next week and next year and next, decade. If He wants, if He wishes, He can give this access, this knowledge to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or to the Imams. But if He doesn't, He would not give them. They would not know what will happen next month or next week. It all belongs to God. Whenever God wishes and He likes, He will give them this access. Whenever He doesn't, He denies them. And one of the knowledges that even a Prophet Muhammad would not be able to find access to it, nor any other prophet, is the time of the resurrection, the day of judgment. It belongs only to God. And this is what we find in chapter number 7, Surah Al-A'raf, the heights. Chapter number 7, verse 187. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ السَّاعَةِ أَيَّانَ مُرْسَاهَا. O Prophet Muhammad, they come to you, يَسْأَلُونَك, they ask you, عَنِ السَّاعَةِ, about the hour. The hour means the day of resurrection or the day of judgment. When it will set in, أَيَّانَ مُرْسَاهَا. When is it? قُلْ, say to them, إِنَّمَا عِلْمُهَا عِنْدَ رَبِّي. The knowledge of the hour only lies only with my Lord. لا يجليها لوقتها إلا هو. None save God manifest it at its proper time. Only God. No one has access to that knowledge. ثقلت في السماوات والأرض. It weighs very heavy. When it comes, it's going to weigh very heavy on the earth, on the heaven and the earth. So when it arrives, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. إِنَّ زَلْزَلَةَ السَّاعَةِ شَيْءٌ عَظِيمٌ. The zalzala, the earthquake, the shaking of the hour, it's something magnificent, unheard of. Unheard of. So when it comes, it is going to weigh very heavy on the heaven and the earth. ثقلت. When God says ثقلت, it's not going to pass easy. People are relaxed, sipping their teas. Oh, congratulations, day of judgment. Today is the... No, nothing. People are going to lose their brain. Mothers who are nursing their kids are going to throw their kids away. A mother who is so much attached to her baby, she's going to throw the baby away. تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها. Every pregnant mother is going to have miscarriage. وتضع كل ذات حمل. وترى الناس سكارى. You see people in the streets intoxicated. سكارى. وما هم بسكارى. Not because they drank alcohol, no. ولكن عذاب الله شديد. The hour is arriving. So it's not something easy. This is why God says, ثقلت. It's going to weigh very heavy. In the heaven and the earth, لا تأتيكم إلا بغتة. Say to your community, the hours comes without warning. There are no signs. بغتة. بغتة means suddenly. Suddenly with no warning. Even tsunamis, they give you 30 minutes, 20 minutes. They tell you the tsunami is arriving. But with the hour, when it comes, no warning. No system can detect the time of the hour. لا تأتيكم إلا بغتة. يسألونك, they come to you, Prophet Muhammad, they come, they ask you, كأنك حفي عنها, as if you knew it very well. But God says to the Prophet, you don't know it. Even you, I love you so much, but I'm not going to give you access to the time of the hour. قُلْ إِنَّمَا عِلْمُهَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Say to them, the hour of the knowledge lies only with God. عِلْمُهَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Unfortunately, the vast majority of people do not know. Do not know means, in this context, it means do not believe. Do not believe. They take it as a joke. They tell you this day of judgment was made by, religions to deceive you, to silence you, to give you hope because you are oppressed, you are poor, you are hungry. So don't do anything. Don't do anything. God is going to take care of you. There will be a day of judgment. It's a joke. It's a lie. This is the meaning. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. The vast majority of mankind do not believe in the day of judgment. One sentence and I conclude. A man comes to the Prophet. He says, Ya Rasulullah, mata as-sa'a? When is the hour? When is the day of judgment? What did the Prophet answer him? What did he answer him? He said to him, yes, what did he answer him? You don't know? The Prophet said, I don't know, but he said something else more important. Sometimes he would say, I don't know. But here in this story, the Prophet says, وَمَاذَا أَعْدَدْتَ لَهَا? What did you prepare for that hour? Are you prepared? If you are prepared, I'm going to tell you. Which of course the Prophet is not going to tell him. He came with excitement like someone who's full, he's not hungry. He says to his mother, when is lunch? It's none of your business because you are full. If you are hungry, ask your mother. But if you are full, why do you ask her? So the Prophet said to him, وَمَاذَا أَعْدَدْتَ لَهَا? What did you prepare for it? Are we prepared or not? It's not a joke. These things will happen. These things will happen, and we're going to stand يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Stand before God. Tomorrow, inshallah, Salatul Fajr is 5:40 here, Inta, you are the Imam. Hashim, what time is Salatul Fajr? 5:40, inshallah. And then followed by Dua al-Nudba. Salatul Jum'ah is at 12, inshallah, noon. And at 8 p.m. we have the youth session. And I am going to have the honor to be the speaker of the youth session tomorrow here at IECOC here, inshallah, at 8 p.m. We're going to do Isha at 8 p.m., Salatul Isha, and 8:30 the youth session. And inshallah, mark your calendar for January 11th, Saturday, for the grand celebration of the anniversary of the birthday of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Al-Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. Please join me. Let's recite dua for those who are sick, for those who are bedridden, for those who are suffering, for those who are hungry, for those who are under bombardment, for those who lost their families and their homes. Let's pray for them. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. يا الله من على مرضانا بالشفاء والعافية. فرج عن المؤمنين والمؤمنات. انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. عجل في فرج إمامنا وسيدنا صاحب العصر والزمان. وإلى أرواح الشهداء والصالحين